For Louisiana versus all y'all, Jarrett Roser here with Episcopal standout Ryan Armwood, who, man, I told you that we're looking at you as kind of like a breakout guy on the recruiting trail this fall, and it looks like you're trying to break touchdown records left and right. You got 8 touchdowns through the first 2 weeks, over 300 yards. How's everything been going for you overall? We'll get into some football talk, but just how have things been for you, the team, your family, and everybody on your end?
For the most part, everything is good. We're just trying to adjust to these protocols and everything with COVID and stuff like that. So for the most part, everything is good.
Talk me through some of, I guess, the off season for you. It was a weird, spring and summer for everybody. And for you, what did the work look like? What were you able to kind of focus on as you geared up towards senior year?
Well, for my work, and we really didn't get the chance to go. I would probably pull some tires, and then I had a log where I would do like some type of deadlift, and then I would work shoulders with that log as well. And then I had some weights so I could do some curls and stuff like that. So I basically focused on the speed standpoint on over this quarantine break.
People talked a lot about LSU quarterback Miles Brennan with cutting down the tree and working out with logs. You were into some of that too, it sounded like?
Most definitely. That got you to get it in where you can.
How did you end up deciding to go tires and logs? How did that kind of come to be where you started figuring out these other ways to get that in?
Well, actually, it was my dad's idea, and he was just telling me just look around and see what you can use, and just try to make the best of it. And that's what I did. We found a tire on the side, and we got some rope and just tied it around me. It just got to work.
Awesome. And I know you posted a couple videos of some things through the summer. I saw I guess it was a box jump where you showed some of that explosiveness. You run a 4.40. I don't remember the exact height on that jump, but what have been some of the rewards of some of that work you've put in? How have you seen some of that speed and explosiveness? In terms of just some of those numbers you hit, and then also now translating to the football field through these first couple weeks.
It's actually a blessing. Like, just seeing that my hard work in the off season is finally paying off, and it's a blessing, man. It's just great to see things finally manifesting for me.
And I mentioned we talk about you breaking out on the recruiting trail because you don't really need to break out in terms of on-field production. You were district MVP last year, rushed for almost 1,300 yards, 19 touchdowns. What were some of the things going into senior year with the Knights that you looked at that you really wanted to have improved upon, and some of that you touch on with the off-season work, but also in terms of different benchmarks you hope you and this team could put together for your last year, your quarterbacks last year, and this senior class?
Well, we definitely something that a high school player always dreams of is playing in the state championship, and that's something that we're working towards, and that's definitely a goal that we, like I said, are working toward, and we trying to prepare for that position. So it's just being in that state title, getting that state title, and just being in that atmosphere. That's something that we're definitely working on.
This team, I mentioned the work that you put in this summer, and I mentioned your quarterback, another senior. Dylan put in a lot of work on his end and worked out that throwing motion and continued to improve upon what was already a lot of success for you guys last year. What have you seen from him coming back? How cool has that been to see his progress too from junior to senior year?
It's amazing. He's definitely matured from our sophomore year to now, and I'm proud of him from because when I first came from Zachary, I was kind of iffy about him because at first he played receiver because they had another starting quarterback, and then that next year he took his first reps at quarterback, and it was kind of a rocky start. But as the season progressed, he became into the quarterback that Episcopal needs.
How do you feel about where you guys are as a team right now with goals that big to go chase a state championship? It's obviously really early in this season, so still a long way to go. But in terms of what you needed to see from your team in these first couple of games, what's kind of the status report? Do you guys feel like you're in the right place to keep building toward that?
I definitely think we're in the right place. The defense last game, the defense executed really well, and the offense we kind of was off to a rocky start with as far as the passing game, but as far as the run game, we're definitely in the right path. But coming into the next game, we definitely will get back on the right path, and we're gelling together. So we're a veteran team, so we kind of know our strengths and weaknesses on both sides of the ball.
I joked with you about the 8 touchdowns and 305 yards in these first couple games. What has worked so well for you to be able to be that type of playmaker? And I mean, I say again because you did so much previously, but you're on a pretty crazy pace to start this year out to be getting in the end zone that often. What's worked well for you? What's been kind of the mindset to have that sort of production early on?
It's my senior year, so every chance I get the ball, I try to score. And last year, I was looking for contact instead of using my speed and my moves. And this year, I'm kind of staying away from the contact and just using it when it was necessary, and then just using my speed to go to the next level.
How much are you seeing that off-season work pay off in that regard to be able to get out into space and be gone and not even have to worry about the contact on some of these big runs like the 67 yarders on Thursday or Wednesday?
It's amazing. I honestly, half the things that I do, I don't even know that I'm doing it. It's just, oh God, it's amazing to see what I'm producing.
And I mean, you're a 5'10" guy. I had you about 170 and talked a lot about your explosiveness and speed, but you show at that running back position the ability to deal with the contact. When you watch your film last year, you are absorbing and spinning off or breaking through and getting yards after contact. Tell me a little bit about kind of your mindset with the contact when it does have to come, and how you balance that speed component of your game, but also knowing that, you know, even though you're not the biggest guy, you're able to still play in that physical way.
Always in the weight room. I think my dad always preaches that you have the speed and everything, but you also have to have the strength. You're not the biggest guy, so you have to make them feel you whenever they try to tackle you. So my mindset is not to let one person bring me down, because if so, then that it just really upsets me. So I just try to make sure I hold on to the ball and just get as many yards as I can.
What was this offseason like for you in terms of some of the uncertainty for senior year, especially for a guy that has that college level talent, but is still waiting on the opportunities to fall in place that we think will come this fall? As things were kind of shaky or uncertain about what this fall was going to look like, what were some of your emotions and just kind of the ways that you and your family talked about or dealt with wondering how things were going to be?
So my family, they just told me to stay prayed up, and God does everything for a reason, and it just be ready for that opportunity. Just keep staying on your all 10 and just stay prayed up, and as you can see, we're here playing football, and I kept my feeling. At times I was kind of iffy about it, and I was kind of angry because I didn't get the chance to go to the camps like I said I want to do. But I just continue to work hard, and it's finally paying off.
Are you starting to hear a little bit more from colleges, whether it be over the summer or as some of these highlights hit the internet the past couple of weeks, or as Coach Bourgeois and company are able to get some highlights out to some schools? And if so, who have been some of the schools you've heard a little bit from?
Yeah, most definitely. Definitely Southeastern and McNeese, and I also got a call from Memphis yesterday.
What have been some of the things you've heard from those schools, and what are some of your early impressions of whether those programs or the coaching staffs and kind of the first steps of those relationships you're building with those guys?
It's definitely it's a great process. They really like how I've been consistent with my getting the touchdowns and getting the yards and stuff like that, and I'm really impressed with my speed, and they just want to see more of it and see it progress over the season.
You play so much in that running back role for Episcopal and are able to impact games in that way. But I mean, I've got you listed as an athlete. We look at you as a guy that could probably be a really good wide receiver in the slot, or, I mean, play some DB wherever you may be needed. What's your outlook on kind of where you best fit, maybe what some of what you've heard from some of those colleges, if they kind of see you fitting a certain place, and just kind of overall mindset with fit at the next level?
I honestly think they think I'm a great running back. They feel like I can play that running back position, but they can also see me at the slot position because I'm so quick and I can make a move and make you miss in 1 second, and then they feel like I'm a great fit for their program.
Do you have any, preference with any of that, or for you it's just more a matter of a fit with the program as a whole and position-wise is kind of an afterthought?
Yeah, running back is okay, but I'm definitely looking more as the receiver position, the inside, because that I feel like that position would fit me more as far as like what I bring to the table.
It's probably been good and fun to have an opportunity to make a couple of those plays too, catch some balls from Dylan in the early going so far this season as well then.
Yes, sir, most definitely.
As you move forward through the recruiting process piece of this, what are some of the things that you look at with these schools that are kind of important factors for you as you talk to coaches, and maybe questions you have about programs and universities? What will be factors in ultimately a decision at some point when opportunities do fall into place?
Definitely if I can make that place a second home. And making sure that I have that connection with that coach, not only because of my talents, just him as a person, and having that good connection, making sure that they're going to take care of me. And then the second factor may be maybe starting my first year, or at least getting some reps in the game. So that's some very huge factors that I look at, having that connection, and of course trying to get some play time.
And what are some things about you maybe that you hope that a coach or coaching staff knows about you, whether it be a football or athlete component, or something about who you are personality wise, character wise, those sort of things? What would be kind of a message that you hope gets across for anyone trying to learn more about you?
I'm a hard worker. I'm very, very family oriented. When I want to do something, I will get that job done no matter what it takes. Like I said, I'm a very hard worker.
And I'm going to end up at some point, I'm going to chat with Dylan. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to let me know, is there something that I should ask him when I have him kind of on the hot seat, and he's got to field some of these questions?
Let me see. Let me see. Not off the top of my head, but if so, I will let you know in the chat. If so, crack them up.
Sounds good, man. Well, I appreciate you, and it's been really good to see y'all's success early on, and some of the things y'all are doing. I know y'all have, as you mentioned, some big goals, big plans in place for this season, and really ultimately beyond that at the next level. And I appreciate you taking a few minutes out of fall break to chat a little bit about it.
Yes, sir. No doubt.
Good deal. Again, he's Ryan Armwood, standout, the district MVP last year for Episcopal, and doing some big things early on this season, waiting for some of those colleges to extend the offers, because he's shown his explosiveness all over the football field. And for Louisiana versus all y'all, Jarrett Roser.